G'day advisors, it's Guy Freeman here from PlatinumPracticeCircle.com. Given that it's the end of coming to the end of a big year, I just wanted to share with you, which will make this into a series of just some really important points that you should look at in your business. And this also helps in terms of having a look at where you are now and setting some goals about where you want to be in each of these different areas of your business that you should be looking at, and then working out an action plan. So this is something that we do with each member in Platinum Practice Circle as well, and this is where we see we get some huge results really quickly in some cases, and in some of the areas it might take a little bit longer, but a really important point to look at. And then at the end of this series we'll also look at how you do a review. So coming up to the end of the year, as I said, it's a good time to sort of check in, see how your year went, set some goals for next year and action plans, and then also to have a look at how we review the year. So the first thing I want to do is just tell you the areas. So this part of the series is just some of the areas that we look at in the business. And again, the whole point of this is to have a look at each area individually and give yourself a score and work out a way forward. So the first thing that we should really be looking at is always going back to the purpose of why we're doing it. Why do we do what we do? What's the whole point? And what do you know you need to do in your business? So this comes back to that big question of the purpose and the why you're doing it. And so we have a look at where you are now, where you want to be, and the actions that we need to make, and then also the priorities out of that as well. Next is success. So we'd have a look again where we are now. What does success mean to you? What would it mean to be successful? Who do you need to be successful as well? So there's some really important points there. And I think one of the biggest ones there is, who do you need to be successful? So we can all say that we want, $1 million in revenue, leads coming in, business completely efficient, staff members who are great. But in order for that to happen, who do we need to be as principals and advisors in that leadership role to make that happen? Our next area is our lifestyle. So this is again, for me, the whole reason I got into business was to create a lifestyle. So for me, the reason the business is there is so it creates a lifestyle for myself and my family. And so we have a look at, what sort of travel have we done? How is our health regime going? That's eating, exercising. Are we following our passions? Do we have the time there to do the passions that we really love? Whether could be playing instruments, it could be reading, could be golf, it could be a whole range of things. Are we being continually educated in the areas that are going to help us progress? And then we also look at, how much time are we putting into the business, and what's our effective hourly rate in there as well. So we look at where we are now and where we want to be in those areas. The next is our business strategy. So, explaining what our business model is from a high level point of view, looking at your strengths, looking at so it's really like a SWOT analysis essentially, looking at your strengths, looking at what can actually bring your business down. I know in Australia at the moment the big ones comes around compliance and education. How can you leverage the strengths that you have? What improvements can we have? What is your best lead source, and what other people have our customers? Next thing we look at is our structure. So this is things like our entities. What business name we're using? Do we have the right type of insurances? And are we in a position, if our end goal is to sell our business, are we in the right structure and the ability to reduce tax? Next is our systems. So this can be a whole range of things, but really our systems come down to, what technology stack and support system we're using in the business. Do we have a retention system, complaint system? Do we have processes in the business for each main parts? Is that the implementation side of things? Is that the reviewing of clients? So making sure that we've got systems for each of those. So again, we have a look at where we are now and where we want to be and work out our priorities. Our sales offer, so this is a big one. What problems do we solve? Are you looking at a particular niche in your market? Or are you currently accepting anybody? And is that the way to move forward? How do we solve problems with our customers? Like, are all of our website pages written well to clearly articulate the value that we add and the challenges that we solve? Do we have a great system for when people make inquiries to make sure that they're coming in for appointments and are fully engaged? So there's many things that we can look at in the sales offer. Message, so it's similar to our sales offer, but like when we look at our message, how do you explain to someone you do what you do? What risks do we remove? And what we do, is it hugely valuable, and does it have some form of magic there that makes our clients want to stay with us year on year and also refer clients onto us? Next important point is cash flow, and this comes down to how do we collect payments from customers? When do we do it? Do we owe anyone? Expenses, how are they managed in the business? Is it signed off by you? Is anybody allowed to write checks in the business? Who does your bookkeeping? So important to have up-to-date financials in your business. What's your best-selling type of service, and how do we maximise that? And so again, we look at these things, and there's many more in this instance, but where we want to be and where we want to go. And then a big point here is our team. So do we have a team in place? How many members have we got? What tasks are each of those members doing? Does our team know what our values are? If we look at how long they've been in our business, do they stay over a significant period of time, or do we have a lot of turnover? Our hiring process, training systems, and standard operating procedures, are these in place? So again, with those areas, we look at where we are now and where we want to be and our action lists. So what we'll do in this series, as I said, is that gives you a high-level overview, but we're going to drill down into each one of these, and I'll give you some ideas about what's been happening in my business, and then we'll also complete our annual review of our business and how we go about that. As I said, this is one of the huge benefits that we add in Platinum Practice Circle, is that we go through with each one of you in your businesses, and I deep dive in there to each of these areas, and then we work out where we are, where we want to be, and what are our actions, and we create priorities out of each of these areas. So I hope you enjoyed that training, advisors. Again, it's Guy Freeman from PlatinumPracticeCircle.com.